What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Patriots Real Time Podcast. I'm your host, Theo Deasenhouse. Today, we're back with another solo show. So we're going to go over training camp, 3 up, 3 down, probably. This isn't written out, so I'm going to go through the roster, say who I think should be on this list. I'll give some takes on some players, tell you how things are going. So this is your overall 8-day Patriots recap. Patriots training camp recap before the in-stadium season ticket holder and Foxborough residents practice. Tomorrow, this should be pretty quick, 10 to 15 minute pod, and yeah, we'll get out here quick and easy. I'll be back with Austin hopefully soon. We won't be doing like daily recaps, but maybe I will try to get on some daily recaps. Not tomorrow, but eventually. So let's start off. Just looking at the roster here, I'm not going to do this for the whole roster because my voice is not great right now. But Alex Austin is a guy who's having a good camp. Injuries to Carlton Davis. He hasn't been out there except for, I believe, 3 days. He was out there today, which is encouraging, but he hasn't been out there other than the 2 walkthroughs and I believe either day 1 or day 2. But he was out there today. Alex Austin, however, rotating in with the starters. He's been really, really good. He had a really good rep against, I think it was Booty yesterday. Could have been Kyle Williams. I don't exactly remember, but it was a good play by him. He celebrated after that. Javon Baker's a guy who's having a really good camp so far. Impressed with him. He's worked his way up to get some reps with the starters. And on Saturday, he got his first rep with Drake May in 11 on 11s and beat, I believe he got behind the cornerback. I don't exactly remember who it was. I don't think it was Duggar at safety. That was for the touchdown on Saturday. But he got behind someone and scored a long touchdown, so that was good on Javon. He has a better shot than Jalen Polk on making the roster. So let's get into this now because it's kind of an all-over-the-place podcast here. No agenda to follow. But if you look at the Jalen Polk-Javon Baker debate, we look at Javon Baker. He's having a pretty good camp. There haven't been many issues with him. I think it was Fitzy who pointed out that he didn't get up and celebrate after the touchdown like he would have last year and like he did in all of OTAs and minicamp. So that's good. The attitude and concerns hopefully are better. There was a report that came out that said that he was troubling, but Stephon Diggs, troubling in the locker room, the guys didn't like him. But Stephon Diggs did come out and say that that was not true. So I don't know if that's true or he's just protecting his guy. And then Jalen Polk, second round pick last year, he produced at the beginning of the year. And then you look at that Miami game where he didn't get the second foot in bounds. And from there, his season went down. He had 4 drops on 36 targets, 12 catches for about like 89 yards. Javon only 1 catch for 12 yards. Don't know the targets, and that came in the last game of the season. We'll see. I think Baker has upside to be that X receiver. And Polk is kind of similar to the guys that they have. You look at that receiving room. It's a lot of the same. It's just copy, repeat, repeat, copy, paste. Polk, Chisholm. Not really Pop, but kind of. If you're looking at the body types, Polk, Efton Chisholm, Kendrick Bourne, even Stephon Diggs is similar now to those guys. He obviously does it at a higher level. Kayshon Boutte runs go routes and he stretches the field, but he's a similar body type. So all your guys except for Kyle Williams are kind of the same. But Javon Baker, he is built into that body type. But like a Kayshon Boutte, he can stretch the field. He can create big plays, while guys like Jalen Polk, Kendrick Bourne, Efton Chisholm. Am I forgetting Mac Hall? No, Mac Holland's more of an outside receiver. But yeah, I feel like Javon Baker is a little bit of a different player than a Jalen Polk. So if he can develop, then you've obviously like to have a Javon Baker because you have so many Jalen Polks. There's no point of putting him on the roster, which is why I have Javon Baker having a better chance to make it than Jalen Polk, right? Let's dive into this receiver room even further and who's going to make the team. I'm going to see if I'm forgetting anyone. I have Bourne, Boutte, Chisholm, Diggs, Douglas, yes. Hollins. Polk. Am I forgetting something? No, okay, I'm not. All right, so let's see. So I have Diggs and Kyle Williams making the roster, 100%. Then I have Pop, also 100% making the roster. He's the best receiver. Booty's a lock from what we've seen so far in camp. He's playing with the ones. Hollins, first day out there today. Start playing with the ones. I think he's going to make it. So what's that? I have Diggs, Booty, Pop, Hollins, and Williams. So that's 5. So you're probably going to carry 6. And that's between Polk, Baker, Chisholm, and Kendrick Bourne. And that's a lot of people to fill one spot, obviously. Maybe 2, you never know. But honestly, I don't know who they go with there. That's very interesting because if you look at it, Efton Chisholm seems like the easiest guy to cut, but also he's the only guy that you don't know what he could be. So that gives him some intrigue. That's why you don't want to cut him, Efton Chisholm. You don't want to cut Kendrick Bourne because he's very good for the locker room. He's also can produce. He'll probably give you 500 yards in this offense, especially back with McDaniels. And then Javon Baker is probably the easiest guy to cut, but he's having a good camp. So that's a reason not to cut him. And then Jalen Polk was a second-round pick last year. So you have 4 guys. Okay. So you have 4 guys with 4 reasons why not to cut, but all of them. Now, for reasons to cut them, Efton Chisholm, undrafted free agent, doesn't mean anything. Jalen Polk, he's not good. He had 12 receptions last year for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he had drop problems. Javon Baker has attitude problems. Polk also had attitude problems. Javon Baker has attitude problems. Struggled catching the football, couldn't get on the field, had 12 yards last year. And then Kendrick Bourne is old. He's not what he used to be. He's continues to come off the ACL 2 years later. He hasn't been playing with the ones at all. So those are like 4 reasons, maybe even more, to cut all those guys. So if you look at it, who has the most reasons? Looks like Jalen Polk and Javon Baker have a lot of reasons. Efton Chisholm seems like the guy, honestly. To me, he's not really producing in 11-on-11s, but that's what the preseason's for. We'll see if he can produce in the preseason, but I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I think it's Chisholm, and if they keep a 7th, it'll be Bourne. So I think that right now, Javon Baker and Jalen Polk have the lowest chance to make their team for any of the for any of the 8 receivers that are on the team or that are on the bubble. So let me say that again. Javon Baker and Jalen Polk have the lowest chance to make the team out of any receiver on the bubble. Those are your 2 receivers last year. So, yeah. All right, let's get into offensive line talk now. I want to talk about the starting offensive line. I don't think I'm going to do 3 up, 3 down. Offensive line. Center, it's going to be Garrett Bradbury. You've seen the 2 fumbled snaps from Jared Wilson. There was a little bit of confusion on if that was Wilson or Bradbury. People couldn't really tell. Most people thought it was Wilson, but there was a lot of people saying that it might not have been. We're going to say it was Wilson. So 2 fumbled snaps from Wilson. So it looks like your guy is going to be Garrett Bradbury, which means, okay, Cole Strange's going to play left guard. No, he's not. Jared Wilson's your left guard because Jared Wilson, through camp and from what everyone has been saying, is by far your best offensive lineman right now. I feel like that's not a big stretch to say. If you look at the offensive line, it's really bad still. I know Andy Hart from WEI said that the line could be worse than last year, and I did not agree with that. But honestly, it's not worse than last year, so I still don't agree, but it's not good. It's not good. You look at that line. Will Campbell, he's a rookie. We don't know. He's going to have some growing pains, obviously. He's not big. He keeps getting beat inside. But right now, as it stands, he doesn't look great. But I think he'll turn it around. But you never know. I don't know if he will, right? Left guard, the only position that I actually feel good about right now, if Jared Wilson is there, is left guard, because Jared Wilson has looked really good. Center, Garrett Bradbury, he looks, a lot of people think he's good, but he got cut for a reason. Right guard, Mike Onwenu, he hasn't been good since 2022. He's been good. No, he hasn't. He hasn't really been good since 2022. He's been okay. Last year, he obviously had to play tackle, so that kind of threw him off a little bit. He didn't have to play tackle the whole year, but he played tackle early on in the season. And then right tackle, Morgan Moses has looked really bad so far during camp. He's 34 years old, so I don't know. I think it's realistic that we see Demontre Jacobs in more games than Morgan Moses this year. I think if Moses stays healthy and has a good year, the Patriots can make the playoffs. I don't know why, but I feel like if Moses is still out there, but if Moses gets hurt and it's Jacobs, it's not going to go well. So that's my offensive line talk. Cole Strange is the worst center I've ever seen. I don't know why people weren't talking about his snaps. They're high. They're hard to handle. Joe Milton had a tough time. He had a tough time, but he was reaching up to catch every single snap in that final game, where the only game where Cole Strange played center all year. Ben Brown is a better center than Cole Strange. And the Patriots know that because Ben Brown is playing center with the first team offense when Garrett Bradbury was out on Wednesday. Vidarian Lowe, we haven't seen much of Vidarian Lowe this camp. Marcus Bryant as well. I think Marcus Bryant could be good. Vidarian Lowe could get cut. I don't think Vidarian Lowe's the worst offensive lineman in the world, but he could get cut. He could get cut. You never know. But I'd keep him for depth. Let's talk running backs now. This running back room, I want it to be running back by committee, like fantasy football player's worst nightmare. I want a little bit of Ramondre, a little bit of Travion, a little bit less of Antonio Gibson, and a little bit of Land Larison. I think Larison's going to make the team. He's popped some big runs so far in camp. And obviously it's training camp, so we'll see. But he's had back-to-back good days. No, he hasn't. He had a good day on Wednesday. I believe he did something today in the walkthrough, which obviously doesn't mean anything. But none of this stuff really means anything. But I'm still going to talk about it. So I think Larison makes the team. He's very explosive. He had 700 receiving yards last year, 1,400 rushing yards, 23 touchdowns. So he's combined. So he's a good football player. The star of camp so far outside of Jared Wilson has been Travion Henderson. And I think it's realistic to say that Travion Henderson will be your starting running back by like week 4. There's Ramondre Stevenson's jersey right there. I think Stevenson should have a big role. And if you look at the seasons that Damian Harris was here, that's when Stevenson was really at his peak. And then last year, Gibson is not a Damian Harris. And there's Travion Henderson's jersey over there. You can't see that. But I think that 1-2 punch is going to be a really good combo this season. And then you add into the Land Larison and the Antonio Gibson. And honestly, I think that this is one of the best running back rooms in the league. I think that one game from each of those guys, they're going to have a big game. I think Larison might go for 50, 60 yards in one game. I think that Antonio Gibson might go for 70, 80 yards in one game. So we'll see. And I don't know. I think this run game is going to be really good if the offensive line can stay up. And it looks like Will Campbell's going to be a really good run blocker. All right, tight ends, we don't really need to cover anything there. Defensive line. This defensive line has looked pretty good so far in camp. And the best player on the defensive line is K'Lavon Chasen, former first-round pick out of LSU. Went to the Jaguars. He flamed out there. Had 5 sacks last year with the Raiders, and now he is doing really well. He had 3 sacks and 11 on 11s on Wednesday. He beat Will Campbell for 2 of them. He beat Will Campbell in one-on-ones. He's having a really, really good camp. So yeah, I really think K'Lavon Chasen can make a difference here. Also, Harold Landry's having a good camp. Braden Swinson beat Will Campbell. And who isn't beating Will Campbell nowadays? But yeah, Milton Williams, he isn't doing too well against other Patriots rookie Jared Wilson. But that's okay. He'll come around eventually, hopefully. He is the highest paid Patriot of all time. Barmore's a beast, obviously. We know this. Linebackers. Spillane looks really good. He's going to get the green dot, it appears. Gibbons looked really good so far. He stood up Land Larison on a screen pass. Land just ran into him. Jack Gibbons, I said, right? Yeah. Hopefully I'm not saying these names wrong. But Jack Gibbons, or I feel like I messed up with some names, but it's okay. Jack Gibbons stood up Larison on a screen pass. That was pretty cool. So that's all I have for linebackers. We'll see what Christian Ellis' role is. We'll see where Marte Mapu fits in, who's officially listed as a linebacker. Haven't seen much of Marte. I'll see what other linebackers there are here that I'm forgetting. Or no, I won't. Okay. Well, maybe I will. Christian Ellis, like I said. Jack Gibbons, yep. Linebacker. Spillane. Harold Landry is not a linebacker. Mapu, I said him already. Elijah Ponder, he's an edge rusher. Truman Jones also looks pretty good, I think. He has a good rapport with Vrabel. Oh, Tavai, yes. I don't know if Tavai will make the team. Maybe he has depth. I don't think so, though. What else we got here? Cornerbacks. Like I already kind of talked about cornerbacks. Also, Christian Gonzalez, forgot to mention this, went down with a leg injury. Not good. But Gonzalez went down with a leg injury in 2023 training camp as well. And missed some time and was fine for the season. So I think he'll be okay. But that's completely different. It was an ankle injury. But I don't know. We'll see. It seems like he'll be ready for week 1. I doubt he plays again. It's a week. He won't be back for this week. We know that from Mike Vrabel. But yeah, like I already talked about Carlton Davis. A guy that's been on the rise, DJ James. He's out there with the first team today. He was out there with Carlton Davis because Carlton Davis did return today. Over guys like Alex Austin, 6th-round pick last year, Marcel Stiles, 7th-round pick, Mr. Irrelevant Kobe Minor. No, it was second-year cornerback DJ James out there over them. I believe DJ James played for, I want to say it was the Chiefs. I don't know, though. Let me check. And then this will be, we also got to talk safeties because I feel like this is, DJ James played for, no, he's a UDFA. Okay. That is DJ James right there. That's not Christian Gonzalez. And, but yeah, DJ James he's playing pretty well. I specifically watched him during 11-on-11s on Wednesday because I was at training camp. Shout out Drake May, I got his autograph. That's pretty cool. And Matt Collins also. But just specifically watching DJ James on Stephon Diggs and Kayshon Boutte. He did let up a catch to Diggs, but it was in the flat. He wrapped him up pretty nicely. So yeah, I think he did a pretty good job. Obviously not facing the top tier talent in the NFL. But obviously he probably won't be a starter. And let's see here for a second. He's 6 feet tall, 184, so he's not going to be that outside corner. So he has been playing outside corner, but let's see what Marcus Jones' height is. Marcus Jones is 5'8". Okay. Alex Austin is 6'1". Miles Battle is 6'3". Yeah, so I feel like James could play well in the slot. Brandon Crossley is James probably plays outside corner, but honestly, also I was wrong about DJ James being a second-year player. He's only a first-year player, but rookie. But yeah, so I think DJ James can hopefully slide into that slot. If not, solid edge depth. Maybe you can get Alex Austin in the slot, who has looked good in flashes over the last 2 seasons. So we'll see on that. He'll definitely make the team, I think. And then also, finally, safety. I'm not going to talk about quarterback. Drake May's been good, whatever. You don't need to hear about that. He hasn't thrown any interceptions. We all know about Drake May. But finally, we have safety. This room is absolutely loaded. You got Jabril Peppers. You have Kyle Duggar. You have Del Pettis. You have Craig Woodson, the rookie, who's looked pretty good. He hasn't been getting as many first-team reps, but he's looked pretty good. You have Jalen Hawkins, Marcus Epps, who you signed from the Raiders. So there's a lot of guys here in this room. I think when it comes down to it, I think last year they kept 5 safeties. This year, I think it'll be something like that. Special team safeties are good for. I think Pettis will make Pettis, I don't know, actually. Dell he's been getting a lot of reps with the third team. Not a lot of first team reps at all. They'll also keep Schooler. I don't know if you want to count that as a safety. But let's see. They'll definitely keep Peppers. Duggar might be on the fence, but I think he has enough talent to make the team. And he's shown you that he can do it. Maybe he'll get traded for Terry Mclaurin, who we'll talk about in just a second. Oh, God. 22 minutes. It's okay. Doesn't matter, actually. I don't really care. But Craig Woodson is going to make the team. He's a 4th-round pick. So you have 3 guys. And then, yeah, so Pettis probably could make the team as the 4th guy. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. And then kicking battles, I think Borgal is going to make it. He's been playing. He missed a few kicks early on, but he's been playing he's been kicking pretty well. Parker Romo's also been pretty good, I mean. So we'll see on that. So yeah, let's talk about Terry Mclaurin. Let's pull up the phone here 1 second. Went to the wrong app. Terry Mclaurin requested a trade at 6:41 p.m., so 50 minutes ago. A lot of Red Sox talk here, sorry. Taylor Kyles has a lot of thoughts on this Terry Mclaurin trade. Here we go. Patriots have a few trade candidates at wide receiver and plenty of cap space. Those trade candidates being Keyshawn Boogie, Kendrick Bourne, potentially Jalen Polk. Also helps the Commanders are out of conference, still play New England this year. Could be a best-case scenario for both Washington and McLaurin, who would be going to a more stable version of New England that's trending up. Yeah. And also, you can't forget that next week, Wednesday, August 6th, the Patriots and the Commanders will be having a joint practice. And August 8th, the Patriots and the Commanders will be having a preseason game where Tom Brady's statue will be unveiled, and we will have a recap of that, us and I. So yeah, if that's the next time you see us, it won't be because I will be back for recapping the joint practice unless I get sick, which is highly likely, of course. But yeah, so 25-minute podcast. I'll get this posted hopefully tonight. And I'll see you after the Commanders joint practice or if some news breaks. So, yeah, follow me on Instagram, Patriots3. Follow Austin Ray. Follow us at Patriots Real Time Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. We'll see you in a week.